The Cincinnati Bengals just re-signed Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins to huge contract extensions, and that seems great and all because they kept their homegrown talent in Ohio, but once you realize how they went about these extensions, you'll see that Mike Brown has decimated this team's future and they may be stuck in NFL purgatory.
The pie is not going to grow, Mike Brown once said when talking about money he can give to his players for extensions in a Mike Florio article, but as we all know, that's a lie. Since Mike Brown bought out Bengals co-founder Austin Knowlton in 2011, the salary cap has increased every season, seeing significant increases from 2014 to 20, and the COVID season lowered the salary cap by 7.92%. However, since that 2021 decrease in the cap is raised by 14.08, 7.97, 13.61, and 9.32%. So yes, Mike, the pie is going to grow, and you can't afford to pay your players. Brown also stated it's only going to be a certain size. When you reach a point with your quarterback that you have to pay him a big contract, it takes a disproportionate piece out of the pie, which means you have less left to pay the others. Sometimes that impacts whether you can get the others signed. What Mike doesn't know is that this is how it's always been. The quarterback gets a large piece of the salary cap and you pay around that and do it at the right times. Ja'Marr Chase did a hold in during the offseason and still wasn't paid then, but he played on his rookie deal because he wanted to win. Last March, T. Higgins requested a trade after being franchise tagged for the first time. Although it worked out for these two, it is clear that players are unhappy with how things are ran in Cincinnati. Brown's method of ownership has been let every good player walk, only sign guys when it's absolutely necessary, and struggle to negotiate those contracts. It took 2 years to sign Higgins and Chase to extensions when it should take 2 seconds. Blank checkbook, close your eyes, whenever number they write down, you sign the check. Oh guys, real quick, I know the NFL season is over and you can't play Ja'Marr Chase score a touchdown in your entries, but if you'd like to play some cash on players to go higher or lower than their projections, what better place to do it than Underdog? Underdog is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. All you have to do is choose between 2-to-8 players, pick higher or lower on their stats, you have a chance to win up to 1,000 times your money. That's not all. If you sign up with code Fanatics, you get a deposit match up to $1,000 and bonus credit, and a free pick, which today is Livy Dunn's boyfriend, not Baby Gronk, Paul Skeens, to throw one pitch. It's absolutely free and helps you get closer to that big win. Again, that is code Fanatics at sign up. Here are some of the guys they let walk in recent years: Jesse Bates, DJ Reader, Chidobe Awuzie, Tyler Boyd, Larry Ogunjobi, Carl Lawson, and Samaje Perine. These are all impact players, and for Bates, an all-pro caliber guy that Mike Brown allowed to sign elsewhere. And this is just in the past few years. Now they're faced with another star player disgruntled as a team gave Trey Hendrickson permission to seek a trade. While I do think Hendrickson signs an extension with the team, just another example of the team trying to set themselves up for failure by not getting it done when they need to. Maybe thinking that if they re-sign their guys, how did they set themselves up? And what were their mistakes? Let's take a look at their timeline of when they signed a player versus when they should have and when the player wanted the extension. On March 16th, T. Higgins signed a 4-year, $115 million contract that is guaranteed for the first 2 years, and he got $28.75 million per year. However, he was franchise tagged in 2024 and wanted an extension all along. If they had done so that year or the year prior, Higgins was only valued at around $19 million per year, according to SpotRack. Now, he would have been signed for more annually, but I believe it would have been around 22 to 24, saving yourself up to $7 million per year. The same goes with Chase. Again, he held out before 2024 while in the final year of his rookie contract. He was offered a 4-year, $140 million contract last offseason and only declined because of the timing of the guarantees. He saw Jefferson get 110 guaranteed and wanted a similar number, as well as injury protection, so the deal fell through. He would then sign a 4-year, $161 million contract with 112 guaranteed, making him the highest paid non-quarterback ever on the same day as T. Higgins. So why does this matter? Well, a week prior, DK Metcalf signed a 5-year, $150 million deal, raising the price of both players. Sure, Chase got a lot more than Metcalf, but it definitely helped set the market higher for the two stars, especially Higgins. Point is, they wait too long and are currently doing the same with Trey Hendrickson. If they got the extension done with Trey after a 12-month waiting period in the summer of 2024, he most likely would have signed for $25 to $28 million. But of course, Mike Brown did not do that. He waited, and division rival Myles Garrett got a 4-year, $160 million contract. Now Hendrickson's price rose as he recorded 35 sacks in the past 2 years, 17.5 in each, proving he's a top-tier edge rusher. He most likely will get $32-ish million a year on a multi-year deal with a lot of guarantees. The Bengals could have saved well over $15 million annually if they got their extensions done at the right time. But there is a team who does get their extensions done at the right time, the Buffalo Bills. Let's take a look at this offseason alone. They've re-signed Christian Benford, Khalil Shakir, Josh Allen, Greg Rousseau, and Terrell Bernard. What's the difference between Cincy and Buffalo? Buffalo gets their deals done when they need to and get a discount on each contract. If you extend early, you avoid being forced to pay peak market prices because you're getting the player their money when they want it, not when the front office has to and you no longer have a bargaining chip. You save so much money by doing so. Let's look at Benford, for example. Signed for 4 years, $76 million, and was all-pro caliber all season long. Didn't make it, but the argument's there. By paying him with 1 year left on his deal, you avoid him having another great season and warranting more money. You get him at a discount, and now he's the 13th highest paid corner when he's easily top 10 in the league, at least in 2024. This is how owners should run their franchise when it comes to extending their players. Get it done when it needs to get done to avoid overpaying or having to pay more because the salary cap increases and they want a higher share of it, or the market resets from other contracts. The only player Mike Brown and the front office did justice for was Joe Burrow, of course. They signed him when they needed to so that they could avoid the market getting worse and doing right by their homegrown number 1 overall pick. You have to keep the football and sex symbol of Cincinnati in the building no matter what. So they made the smart move by re-signing Burrow when it was smart to do so. Before the salary cap increased even more, he wanted a larger market share, and the value of quarterbacks went up. The situation the Bengals have put themselves into is not dire per se, but it's almost time to ring the alarm. You missed the playoffs with Joe Burrow playing every game last year and having a historic season, Jamar having the triple crown, and players like Mike Gesicki, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown having great seasons. But after waiting too long, they've left not a lot of room to re-sign defensive starters Trey Hendrickson, Cam Taylor-Britt, Jermaine Pratt, and more, while also not giving themselves enough flexibility to fix the defense by signing veterans. They'll have to rely on drafting well to improve the roster, which definitely is a viable option for many teams. But if you look at the Bengals' first and second round draft picks since 2017, outside of when a sure pick fell into their lap, like the 2020 and 2021 draft, for the most part, it hasn't worked out too great. They've gotten some good players, but they're about like a 50% hit rate, which is not good. Now, some of the guys like Miles Murphy or Marius Mims still have time to figure it out, but for the most part, they have not lived up to expectations, or they left the team in free agency. Duke Tobin, the director of player personnel, and the scouting department need to do a better job scouting and drafting their talent. They've been known to draft for the athletic guys instead of the more polished prospects that may not be as fast or quick off the ball, but know what they're doing and really have a higher floor. This upcoming draft with the 17th pick, they have to go with a guy like Malachi Starks, the safety out of Georgia and best safety in the class, or edge Mike Green from Marshall. 2 high football IQ guys who have a plan when they're out there and don't rely on their athleticism to take them far, or all the way in some cases. I think if they get either of those guys and are able to develop Miles Murphy by, actually playing him, letting him pass rush, the defense can make a serious improvement in 2025. Even if they make the right moves in April, there's a reason that the Bengals have not been a serious franchise outside of a couple years this entire millennia, and that reason's name is owner Mike Brown.